샛별.
Hello everyone, it is Spellbound 101 and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hi, hello, and welcome. My name is Miley and I am a 19-year-old swimmer here on YouTube. So welcome back to my channel everyone, or if you are new here, obviously, hello. I'm so excited because today I'm doing another speed build. This is actually a renovation of one of the apartments in San Myshuno, and it's supposed to be a single parent style apartment build. So this does have a lot of growing together aspects in there. I did use the tool mod to get rid of some of the windows and kind of change their placement a little bit. Please be patient with me. I am still learning how to use the tool mod correctly, so trying to shift windows over like horizontally is a little bit of a challenge for me, and knowing how to move objects up and down is a bit of a challenge for me, but I am trying. So yeah, I basically completely redid this apartment. I completely redid the layout or floor plan, and I'm super proud of how it ended up turning out. I was struggling a teeny weeny bit with this apartment just because of the fact that it does have medium-sized wall height, which I did not think it would be that big of a deal, but oh buddy, was it a large deal. I could not for the life of me figure out some of the things to fill up this wall, and it felt very, very awkward because I very clearly didn't know how to fill up the wall, but you know, I tried my best. So yeah, like I said, I redid the floor plan of this apartment, so I felt like there was a lot of room right by the front door, so I did put a half wall to separate the kitchen from like the entryway. And yeah, I just did a different vibe with this apartment. I don't think I've ever done an apartment in The Sims 4, which I know sounds very, very strange, but I've never like built or renovated an apartment in The Sims 4 outside of my Sims living there. So like if I have a Sim and I move them into an apartment, I will obviously decorate, but I never really redo the floor plans, mainly because I don't plan apartments that much. So I really should plan apartments more. It's a little bit more realistic, but yeah, so I'm really happy with how this apartment ended up turning out. It is quite unique. The background or story that I kind of had in my head when I was building this was that it was maybe a mom who got pregnant as a teenager and she was finally able to move out into an apartment, and it's not the best apartment. You're definitely oh, excuse me, I'm so sorry. You're definitely going to see me add some, you know, cracks and holes in the wall and things like that throughout this build, just to make the building look a little bit more run down. But yeah, in my head, this is a single mom's first apartment. She has a little girl and she has finally been able to save up enough money to finally move out of her parents' home and, you know, kind of start the process of integrating into society as an adult. And it has not been an easy journey for her, but in my head, I'm imagining that maybe her parents gave her some old furniture that they had in their garage or in a storage unit, and that some items that she has in her house are not the newest. Like her fridge is not the newest or nicest, but a fridge is a fridge, and she can't afford the best of the best for her child, although she really wants to, but she can give her child kind of the bare minimum. So you'll be seeing me use a lot of the cheaper objects that came with Growing Together, like rather than using like a true crib, I use like the pack and play style crib. I tried to keep things as kind of thrift shoppy as possible, which by the way, thrift shops are amazing places to go find furniture, like thrift shops or consignment stores. That's where my mom found her couch, and it is a very beautiful yellow velvet couch. It's very clean. My mom is like, you can't sit on it so you don't mess it up. But yeah, I highly recommend consignment shops and thrift shops for furniture, because you can find some real good gems in there. So that's what I was kind of imagining for this, that maybe she found this chair and her bed and maybe her couch and some other stuff from a consignment store, and it was a little bit cheaper than buying it brand new, obviously, so she went ahead and bought those things. And I did want to try and decorate this house as much as possible to make it seem like there has been a kid here, so I tried to kind of incorporate real art like in frames, but also incorporate like decals in the kids room. I tried to incorporate like maybe like that calendar that you see on the wall in the entryway. I tried to incorporate things like that. So yeah, there was also a lot of empty space in this apartment, so I did end up adding a little area for a cat. There is a scratching post, a cat tree, and a bowl right kind of in the entryway as well, since there was a lot of room there. That's where I ended up adding it. It just seemed a little bit more realistic for me to have that area be like cut in half and have an entryway and a kitchen, rather than making that whole area a kitchen, because realistically, especially in a rundown apartment, that's quite a large kitchen for the kind of vibe that I was going for. So yeah, I'm quite happy with my design choice with that. But it did take me a little bit of time to kind of get settled in how I wanted this apartment to look, just because when I first started, I wanted it to look like a starter apartment, but I didn't plan on adding any like cracks or holes in the walls or anything like that, because I still wanted it to be a halfway decent apartment. But in my head, as I was making up these characters, this single mom story, this kind of like furniture from a thrift store, like as I was making up kind of the details of these Sims in my head, it just didn't make any sense at all to just leave the apartment kind of not bare bones, but give it furniture, but not make it seem like there wasn't anything wrong with it. So I kind of wanted to make it look a little bit more lived in, a little bit older. I did not add a rat hole because I hate rats. They freak me out. And I did not want to add them inside of my apartment. I do like domesticated rats, and I very much considered getting two. Not sure yet. I'll update you on that at some point. But anyways, I was also trying to make sure that I made this apartment seem not necessarily cluttered, but seem as if the person or the mom who's living in this house is trying to clutter it up or make it seem as full as possible, even though she has very little furniture. And it's really all about angles. So I was trying to make the living room seem nice and full. I was trying to make that little entryway area seem nice and full. And I was also trying to fill up some of that space in the middle, which I do end up doing a little bit later. But yeah, I was really trying to make this apartment just seem very lived in and kind of as homey as possible, but I still wanted to give the vibe of someone who couldn't really afford the best, but, you know, they were happy and they're proud that they were able to finally get to this point and do it on their own. So that's kind of the vibe that I was going for with this build. I did end up going in a more like kind of darker tones with the bedroom, and it wasn't my intention to, but I really thought that the city living bed would be a good kind of it would be a good option for this style of speed build. And although I did enjoy it, it's so odd because I wanted to use that bed, but I wasn't crazy about all of the swatches. Like, there are 2 swatches on that bed that I use almost every time I use it, so I was trying to use different swatches, and the room came out a little bit more unique than normal. But my idea in my head is that maybe this sim, like, her budget began to get a little bit tight around the time it came to decorating her room, and so she was like, you know what, I'm just gonna use whatever I can find. So I did use like the werewolf's wall cloth as like a curtain, and then I used the city living bed, and then yeah, there was just a couple of things in that room that I'm not particularly proud of, but it does kind of fit the vibe of a little more of a rundown apartment, like that vibe. It fits the vibe. So, you know, I tried to make it work and incorporate it, but we, you know, obviously can change it if you decide to download this. So I did not know, actually, because like I said, I don't build an apartment, is that you can't save an apartment. So all of the walls where you see the doors, like the doors to the bathroom and the 2 bedrooms, I did end up having to delete those so that way I could save it as one room. And it's in the description of the build on my gallery, but all you'll have to do is just add the walls back and then add the doors back, so that way it's an actual apartment. It is it's in the top right hand corner. You can see it's the apartment in the art district that it's one of the starter apartments, and I don't think I've mentioned this yet, but this is a starter apartment. This apartment is under the cost of, I think, $18,000, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure, yes, it is under $18,000, so it is still a starter apartment, which I'm quite happy about. But like, it also made me realize during the entire speed build that The Sims did not do these apartments adequately. I mean, they don't do a lot of their builds, they don't give them justice, but it was kind of insane to me how I could make this apartment a 2-bedroom apartment with a cat, have a decent amounts of furniture and decoration, and it's still a starter home. And yet The Sims only made this a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom with barely anything in it. I don't know. It was just a very it was a fun challenge for me because, like I said, it was giving me very teen mom, teen parent, single parent vibes. And so in my head, I really wanted it to be a little bit more rundown, a little bit more cheap, a little bit more homey. But at the same time, I didn't want it to be like a complete cesspit, you know? Like, I didn't want it to be completely grossed out. Like, I wanted it to make it seem like the Sim that lives here tried to make it their own. So, and plus they obviously want a safe area for their kid. But yeah, I just thought that was really interesting about this build was that Maxis, I need y'all to get on it. Like, I'm glad they're now enlisting Simmers to help build their buildings, because it's kind of ridiculous how much I can do, and I'm not even that good at building. So it's fascinating to me. It truly is. But yeah, this speed build is actually going to be wrapping up here in just a second. So I want to thank you all so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This will, like I said, be up on my gallery. You'll just have to add the walls and doors back in. There's no custom content in here, but I did use a myriad of packs and things like that. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I enjoyed making it for you, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye, everyone.